It's time for a Big Blue Kickoff Live.
Nobody can ever tell you that you couldn't do it because you did.
On Giants.com.
You know what I saw? New York Giant pride.
And the Giants mobile app.
17-14 is the final. One touchdown, we are world champions. Believe it, and it will happen.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Have some fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Big Blue Kickoff Live right here on Giants.com and the Giants mobile app. I'm back. Johnny Schmeelk with you. It's all brought to you by Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the Giants. Joining me in the Hackensack Meridian Health Podcast studio, keep getting better, is Paul Dottino. Paul, how are you?
Hey, John, I'm just so glad to see that you're back because it was a rough go there for a week.
Yeah, and I'm still dragging a little bit. I'm not 100%. You can hear the little gravel in the voice, though that was kind of a late arrival last week. I had a fever most of the week, was kind of in and out of chills and cold sweats for like 4 days. I was as sick as I've been since I had probably COVID, and this actually lasted longer than COVID did back in like 2022. But I was, I'm still not 100%. I was dragging a little bit until you got me all riled up before the show, so I'm ready to go.
Good. That was the idea.
Our producer here, Johnny Max, all excited about his honeymoon, and then Paul goes Debbie Downer on us. Are you aware of Debbie Downer, the Saturday Night Live
Saturday Night Live, yes.
You
very
were
much.
really Debbie Downer. He's like, yeah, I can't wait. I've never been to Hawaii before. This is going to be great. Paul goes, you know about the volcanoes, don't you? Yes, Paul, I know about the volcanoes.
I'm concerned.
And there are sharks.
I'm concerned for the man's safety.
Do you know how dangerous the flaming torches are? Let the man enjoy his honeymoon, Paul. Jeez.
I want him back here in one piece.
Yes, so do I. Let him have fun, though.
Have fun, John.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeesh. Man, Paul, come on. All right. We just got back from the Jets practice facility. It was hot. It was probably in the upper 80s, probably around 90 degrees.
Think so.
Very
and
sunny.
Bright sun.
Very, very bright. That's probably what gave me the headache coming back from that thing. My head was pounding this afternoon. It probably had to do with me being sick all week last week, too. Either way, I thought it was a good back and forth, Paul. I thought the Giants defense had a nice back and forth with the offense. I'll start there because I watched mostly defense today, and then I'll let you give your take on the offense.
Yep.
I thought the defensive line, the one-on-ones against the Jets offensive line, it was a good back and forth. I don't think either side dominated. I think it was kind of a give or take here, give or take there. Dexter Lawrence actually did a one-on-one rep today.
Ooh.
First time we have seen that all summer, as far as I could tell, right?
I don't remember seeing one before.
So he did one rep.
Who'd they draw with?
I believe it was with Tippmann, the center.
Okay.
And he basically just...
He should have beat him.
It was a slow walk into the backfield.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a classic Dexter, disposing of the guy.
Well, he's not in
in.
full. He's not in full revved up mode yet.
Correct. I would say Brian Burns was probably the toughest guy to block during one-on-ones. He had an inside spin. He had a quick inside rip move. Abdul Carter had one real quick inside move. Otherwise, I thought the Jets actually did a pretty decent job against Carter over the course of those one-on-ones. Roy Robertson-Harris, I thought, showed off his power over the course of the drills. DJ Davidson had a good win against Tippmann inside. Durden showed some power. Darius Alexander had a couple of wins. So I thought it was a good, but not dominant showing by the Giants' defensive front in those one-on-ones. And then in the team portion, I saw Alexander get in the backfield a couple times. Burns would have had a sack. Carter would have had a sack. Dex had a pressure. Mike McFadden had a tackle for loss. He probably would have had a sack on another play. So I thought the defense did a pretty nice job up front over the course of practice. Javon Howland had the only pass breakup that I saw.
Did you consider that a pass defense or a forced fumble?
I was not. I was watching one-on-ones at that point. I was told it was a pass breakup where he kind of punched it out after they caught the ball.
Yes.
So
I don't think the receiver had both feet down, so I would consider it a pass defense.
It's not just 2 feet down. It's 2 feet down and then a football.
Right. Yeah.
Move,
I don't think he got to the football move, so I'm not going to call it a forced fumble.
I'm sorry. A move common to the game.
Yes,
I believe
exactly.
Is what they call it
Yeah,
now, right?
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
that
he definitely knocked it out. That was a nice play.
They ended in red zone. Giants' first team defense allowed just one touchdown in 5 plays. Second team defense did struggle in their red zone period a little bit. They gave a few touchdowns. There was a couple defensive penalties in the backfield too over the course of that. Though Dane Belton did have one nice play on a quick pass over to the sideline. Now those are the main takeaways for me from the defense, which I thought did pretty good over the course of practice. Paul, what did you see from the offense?
Well, I'll start in reverse with the red zone. Offensively, you had 2 Russell Wilson touchdown passes early on in the first series, one to Theo Johnson, one to Darius Slayton.
And the Singletary touchdown run in between those two. So you had 3 straight touchdown runs to close
Now, I was
that
talking to
period.
Bob about this. Was that a 2-point conversion, or was the ball on the 4 instead of the 2? Was it considered a run?
They're all red zone. It was a running play, but he got in untouched. So
there's no question. All right, so bottom line is they cracked the goal line 3 times in the first session of the red zone.
3 times in a row to close the period.
Correct.
They did 5 reps with the first team. The last 3 were all touchdowns.
So that was cool. Then in the next Giants red zone session, Jackson Dart hit Jonathan Ward for a touchdown, and then he also hit Pascal with a diving
You're
catch.
not giving Ward a touchdown on that.
Yes.
No.
Bob and I both agreed that was a
He would've
touchdown.
got tackled before he got
We gave
That's
a touchdown.
extreme. Folks, for the record, that pass got caught at like the 5-yard line and then got ran in. That's a very generous touchdown.
Well, let's put it this way.
It was not thrown into the end zone. Let me put it that way.
Phil Simms came to lunch just now, and he wanted to review the film of the practice session. And Bob and I told him it was a touchdown, and he said, well, I'll be the judge of that. I'm going to look at it.
Yeah, I
So
think
we're going to let Phil decide.
Phil's a tough grader. I don't think he's giving him a touchdown on that.
All right. And Pascal had the diving catch. Juggling diving catch.
It was another back shoulder. It was another
Really?
dart.
Nice.
I'm close starting. It's almost the Dart has one of those at practice. Almost it seems like now.
Well, we've discussed how he does like that play, and I'm so grateful to see it resuscitated, John. It hasn't been here for quite a while. All right, 11 on 11s offensively. It was rough. It was rough, folks. I'm not going to lie. Giants did not get much going in the running game. Passing game, pass protection wasn't holding up very well. They had a few drops. Slayton had one. Dulcich had one. Washington had one. It was not a great 11 on 11 session, but that's why Russell Wilson afterwards in talking to the media was very happy that after they struggled offensively in 11 on 11s, they came back strong in the red zone and were very efficient. And that's the beauty of what Russell Wilson was talking about, is that they responded. Now, let's go back to the first 2 periods that I looked at. Offensively, 7 on 7, Wilson was practically flawless in the 7 on 7s in the first offensive.
Not a lot of big plays though. It was a lot of short stuff, right?
They were short to intermediate, but he was spot on, and the Giants effectively got guys open, and Wilson would hit him in stride, and everything looked like it was going well. And Wilson talked about that also afterwards. He's like, man, 7 on 7, we were lighting it up. He felt really good about that, and understandably so. The offensive line, defensive line drills, John went to the Giants defense. I went to the Giants offense. And the Giants offensive line in that period was very, very good.
Sean O'Hara had a similar report for me, by the way.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. And here was what you had to like about it. John, you know when we watch these things, we don't always get to see the stunts, the twists, the combo blocks. A lot of times it's just guys who are going one-on-one straight at each other.
Yeah.
They did, in the latter portion of this section of the practice, they did guys with twists and combo blocks. The Giants absolutely dominated.
Oh, so they're doing like 2-on-2 stuff.
2-on-2s.
Oh, really?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it was 10 2-on-2s I tracked. I had the Giants winning 7 of the 10.
They didn't do any 2-on-2s. The other side. Which was interesting.
They
No,
did
it was
not.
all 1-on-1 stuff. That's interesting.
Carmen Brasillo was running the drill with the Giants offensive line against the Jets defensive line. And he was talking to one of their assistant coaches about, hey, you could see they were trying to figure out how they wanted to end the period. And they decided to do 2-on-2s. And I got the Giants winning 7 out of the last 10, which was pretty sharp. Okay. Everybody was involved. They just kept changing guys in and out, and it didn't matter. No matter who the pairing was for the Giants offensive line, they were winning the reps. In the single individual one-on-ones, I mean, I guess if I just look at my sheet here and without calculating it, it's got to be about 80% wins for the Giants in the one-on-one reps. And as you said, Sean O'Hara was sitting over by me too, and Sean was like, wow, he goes, that was a good session. And it really, really was. Marcus Bowe continued to look very sharp and very stout and holding his ground and not giving way like he did in the game Saturday. He held it very well on Saturday, and he held it again very well today. I only bring him up simply because I think a lot of people were really excited about what he did against the Bills, and justifiably so. And he looked like the same kind of guy today. He's somebody to watch, for sure.
To me, there's still some power and strength issues with him that he needs to work out.
He's rookie.
Yep.
He's rookie. That's going to happen.
But his feet and even his hands have been pretty good. So I've been happy with him.
You know what I like? He sustains his block. Even if he doesn't have the power to necessarily, push a guy backwards or jolt him, Marcus Bowe stays with his guy, stays in front, stays engaged, and doesn't let the guy slip off of him. I think that's what right now is making him effective, John.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I thought it was a good day of practice. The teams get back together again tomorrow here. Same deal, about a 2-hour practice from 10 to 12. And we'll have Big Blue Kickoff live at 2 as usual to recap everything that's going on.
Yeah.
All right, 201-939-4513, 201-939-4513. Hashtag Giants Chat on Twitter if you want to get us that way. Also, Johnny Mack will monitor the YouTube channel, see if there's any questions or comments that come out there. We will keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, let's get to your calls and go to Edgar in Arizona. He will lead us off. Hi, Edgar.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
We're great, man.
Just a quick question. I'm sorry, just a quick question. When we signed Illuminor, it was as a guard, wasn't it?
He was drafted to give yourself protection in case Evan Neal was not ready to play offensive tackle last year, which, as it turned out at the start of the season, he was not healthy enough to do it. And if Neal did get back, he would slide ostensibly into guard. But he was signed specifically because he had a flexibility to play both spots.
Right. I think our best offensive line lineup might be, if Bo works out, to have Bo and put Neal and Illuminor at guard.
Don't go there.
Edgar, let me stop you. Jermaine Illuminor has been the Giants' best offensive lineman all summer.
Consistently.
I was hoping if Bo worked out.
No, I understand, Edgar. You do not bench your best right tackle for a rookie.
I got you. I just feel like we don't get no push in the middle of the line with our guards and center. It's too weak. There's no push there.
Look, I get what you're saying, Edgar, but first of all, and again, Bo is not going to push it on the outside either, so I think you're actually maybe hurting yourself from a strength perspective there. I understand wanting to get Illuminor strength inside, but right now, with Andrew Thomas being hurt, Jermaine Illuminor, and we've seen him block Brian Burns, we've seen him block Abdul Carter, we've seen him block Kayvon Thibodeau all summer. He has handled all three of those guys pretty well. That's not to say he shut them out and he wins every rep against those guys, but he has blocked them really, really well. I would be extremely cautious moving him out of a spot when he has said this summer the reason he thinks he's playing his best football is because for the first time in his career, he's actually been able to stay at one spot and train at one spot at right tackle. So, Edgar, I get where you're coming from. I'm excited about Marcus Bowe too. I would not even think about moving Jermaine Illuminor off a right tackle right now. Next year, because he's a free agent after the year, maybe we can have the conversation then, but I don't think we're talking about it this season.
And if I might add as well, the Giants have a bunch of guards who they're trying to roll in there right now. They've got bodies in the room. And I appreciate the fact that, you'd like to get more production out of the interior of the line. There's no doubt about that. The Giants know that, especially with a shorter quarterback who's going to be in the lineup. But they've got a number of guys now who they're giving opportunities to. It's only the first week of the preseason. Let these guys try to, fight it out. Let somebody try to win the job before you start thinking about replacing people.
It's a shame Neal hasn't been able to practice as much either. Him getting hurt really didn't show his progress at the guard.
Yeah, Edgar, I was so disappointed, when he had that injury towards the end of the week last week leading into the game, because he had literally practiced every single day. He had not had an injury all of camp. It was probably the healthiest camp he's had since he has been here.
No doubt.
And then, kind of coming out of nowhere in that last week, I think it was the last padded practice, he suffered some type of injury, and he ended up having to miss the game. Then he didn't practice today. If he didn't practice today, Paul, I would imagine that probably means he's not going to play in the game on Saturday, would be my guess. And he needs the reps, man. And Edgar, look, as of right now, we talked about it heading into the summer, that Evan Neal would have to play so well to take that spot from Greg Van Roten. That's not going to happen now because he's not playing. So I think you're looking at the same starting, assuming Thomas is back, you're going to look at the same 5 starting offensive linemen that you had last year.
I just hope with this defense, the weakness is offensive line and that second corner position. I think the second corner position might be easier to fill than the trenches of the offensive line.
It always is. Edgar, appreciate the call, man. Thanks so much, man. Good stuff.
Thank you, guys. Keep up.
Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Good stuff. Look, offensive line's always the toughest, position to fill.
Well,
that's just the way it is. It's very, very difficult. There aren't only so many athletic 300-pound men that are alive on this planet. That's just the way it is.
And teams are going to do everything they can to keep guys who are at least competent.
Nothing can short-circuit a season quicker than an offensive line that can't function.
Do I need to remind you folks, when Andrew Thomas got hurt last year against the Bengals right here at MetLife Stadium, the Giants to that point were 2-3. Think about that for just 1 minute.
And they were almost 3-2. They had almost beaten the Commanders.
And they won 1 game the rest of the year after Andrew Thomas went down with the injury, and then the rest of the offensive line just crumbled like a stale cookie. I mean, you can't you can't overestimate the pain that a team goes through when their offensive line goes down. You just can't. It's brutal.
No,
it's brutal.
It's a very difficult thing to deal with. I was not on yesterday. Can I give you my quick take on the game real fast?
Do it.
Real quick.
Do it.
As Johnny Mac screens a couple more calls here. All right. My thoughts on the game very quickly. Don't take too much out of preseason games, first and foremost, one way or the other, but you rather have your team play well than play poorly. Mm-hmm. I think I looked it up. It's in my article on the cover 3 on Giants.com. I think it was the most Giants have scored in a preseason game since 2019, I think it was, something like that. And since 2020, the Giants have scored 30 points or more in a regular season game 3 times. So whenever you can see an offense do that, it's a good sign. You'd rather have them do that than not do that, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, I will give the coaching staff credit. A lot of those passing yards came on screens and stuff like that. I thought there was some very well-designed stuff in there. I think they did a good job of trying to get the quarterbacks going with some easy throws early, a couple of stick routes. And people say, well, it was a go route. That's not easy. Yeah, but it's just a one-on-one, throw it up, let your guy go make a play, right?
When Dart came in, right away, they gave him some easy completions. Right away.
There you go. And I want to tip my cap to Mike Kafka about that.
Yep.
And he got a lot of, he was in a 2nd and 25. They ran 2 straight screen passes, and they got a first down.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't, some great throws by Dart. It was 2 really well-designed screens that got him a first down.
Absolutely.
After I think that was the offensive holding penalty, I think, or something like that. That was one of the Hudson.
Hudson was on the first drive.
Yeah, that
he
was
had back-to-back penalties.
There was a different penalty
with
on
Wilson
that play. I don't remember which one it was. But either way. So I think, good job there. The run blocking was and that is, by the way, tight ends and wide receivers along with the offensive line. A couple of times the offensive line actually had it blocked up. The receiver did not get their down blocks in there,
right,
which short-circuited a couple of runs. I thought Thomas Fidone played pretty well, had a couple of nice catches, showed off his length and his hands. I thought he did pretty well. Offensive line I thought was spectacular. You can't ask for much more out of that group. They did great. We already talked about Marcus Bowe had a good game. I thought Josh Azudu played a nice game at left tackle, allowed only 1 pressure in the game. So tip your cap there. He did a nice job. Defensively, I thought Trace Ford had a nice game. I thought he was pretty consistently giving some pressure off the edge as well, which I liked. I thought Deonte Banks did a pretty good job, allowed just that 1 catch on that crossing route. Which, again, you don't expect a corner to carry a guy all the way across the field. I thought fortunate he didn't get called for a pass interference on that 1 play down the field where, again, he did not get his head turned around when the ball was in the air. But again, his coverage was sticky. He was always in phase with the receivers, which is the more important thing.
There are so many people still picking on that guy. And actually, he gave up 1 completion on a crossing route to Joshua Palmer. And then on the near sideline, the Bills sideline, he squashed that guy right up against the sideline, and he only got 1 foot down. The other foot was out of bounds.
Yeah, I thought people were complaining about how he played.
Some people were. In fact, our last caller just said, I think the Giants got to go after a cornerback too. I'm sorry. Tate Banks played well the other day.
Yeah, I thought he was fine. I didn't realize that was the thing.
Yeah, that in the written stuff was out there, and even we got some calls about it. It was on the internet. A lot of people thought Tate Banks played poorly. He gave up 1 crossing route in off coverage.
Why did people
for 13 yards?
Why did people think he played poorly?
I have no idea. I think they read stuff and they believe everything they read, and when the stuff that's been written is wrong, this is what you get.
I think the impression is that since they made him play a full half, it shows they don't have confidence in him. I think it had more to do with the fact that they had a million injuries at cornerback.
They did.
Flock didn't play. Hawkins didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have Paulson Adebo out there for that long because he's one of your
can't
starters.
do it.
So you're running low on dudes at that point. So
I
I
know.
think he had to play a half because he didn't have a lot of other guys.
I don't know what the big mystery is. I think a lot of people are just still down on him because of last season, and there's residue there. He's going to have to be like unbelievably great for people to change their mind. I really believe that.
I mean, I think, to be honest with you, in terms of on-the-field stuff, whether it's in practice or in games, I think he's done as well as could have been asked for so far, to be honest with you. I think he's been pretty good this summer.
You used the word, and I've used it the other day too.
Sticky?
Sticky.
He's been
sticky. He's all over the place. Now, Coach Marvin called yesterday, and he did mention about the one play where he didn't get his head turned around as quickly as you wanted him to. And that's true.
And by the way,
that's true.
You can have that criticism about him in practice sometimes too, but he's not allowing catches.
Correct.
But now, could you argue until he gets that technique fixed that other problems are going to come back when you're playing better receivers in games?
Well,
you can make that argument. That's fine.
Until he fixes that, he won't take it to the highest level. He can't.
Correct.
And I admit to that too, even though I'm a huge fan of Banks. He's got to get that fixed if he's ever going to max out.
Yeah, 100%. So if that's the argument, I could buy that. But the results, if you're looking at pure results, the results have been pretty positive. And he hasn't even had, I think he's had one flag thrown on him in camp practices. I think that's it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like I said,
okay.
I think people.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I'm glad you brought it up because I have talked about it, and people look at me like I got three heads.
I was on the post game with Tiki. Both of us thought he played pretty well.
I'm so glad you did. I couldn't hear you because I was already in the bus.
Yeah, you were flying. I understand.
But anyway, if you'll let me go back to one thing you said a minute ago, though,
and
I think it's important to stress this. Mike Kafka not only called the plays, but he was on the sideline. He was not in the booth on Saturday.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that.
And Dable was asked about that, and they tried it on Saturday in Buffalo, and he said it would still be under further discussion, and they're not sure if they're going to move forward with that or not. However, the operation went very smoothly. So I think there's a possibility we may see more of that.
My guess is that it's going to be up to Mike. Does Mike want to be able to see the game from like the all-22 view from the box, or would you rather be on the sideline?
Dable said...
Because then Tierney would have to be upstairs.
Yeah.
You have to have one of those two guys
has to be
upstairs.
up.
They have to be.
Now, Dable said that he believes, and remember, he's been an OC. So he said he believes that, yes, you're better off. You can definitely see more when you're upstairs. Obviously, you're looking down on the field. He's like, that's the plus for going upstairs. But he flat out said the communication is better when we're down on the sideline.
I buy that too.
So he's got to weigh it.
All right, 201-939-4513, the Giants official connected TV streaming app. Giants TV brings original video content and game highlights on demand and direct to Big Blue fans. Giants TV is free on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and the Giants mobile app. Let's go to Jeff in Maine. He'll come up next year on Big Blue Kickoff Live. Hi, Jeff.
Oh, hi. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks so much for taking my call.
What's up?
I'd like to make a case for keeping Gunnar Olszewski on the team.
Make the case.
Special teams are more important than ever with the new kickoff change. They're saying there's going to be even more kickoff returns than ever. And I don't know if you remember a few years ago, before we got him on as the punt returner, what the shape the punt return team was in. He kind of just really dramatically improved it there. And the thing is, I think we also need to keep Smith-Marset. If we had both of them as the punt returners and the kickoff returners, we're going to need at least two to get through the season.
See, Jeff, I was with you. I was with you. You can't keep both of them. To me,
cannot do it.
To me, this is a three-man competition, okay? You have Gunnar Olszewski, to your point. You have Amir Smith-Marset. And then I'm going to throw Montrell Washington into that mix. If people didn't notice, he was on the return depth chart on the flip card for the weekend's game. I don't believe he got a return in the game. Did he?
He had one return, I thought.
On punt? One on punt?
It was 8 yards, maybe?
So
he did have one return.
They like what he brings as a receiver. Now, he did have a couple of drops in that game, which I'm sure did not help his case.
And he had one today.
I did not see that one.
He had a drop today against the Jets.
So he has to clean that up. But to me, if you can find one of those three that can help you as a returner. Now, Olszewski's benefit is that he can help you on coverage teams as well. So he can help you in a couple different spots there. But to me, I'm not sure, Jeff, you can keep more than one of those three. And you could probably, I mean, look, unless Montreal Washington blows up, I bet you could probably get him on the practice squad and he can be your quasi-backup returner on the practice squad or something like that. But I think that's where the competition is. It's just going to be too crowded because if you're keeping both those guys, you're keeping them 6 wide receivers. And then I just think it's going to get too crowded. I don't think you can put 2 roster spots out on the side and reserve them for 2 different return guys.
Yeah, it's just not possible.
Yeah.
Not practical.
Well, right. Well, they can all play, offense too. I know Olszewski has actually proven himself, though. And the thing is, if it was a choice between Olszewski or Montreal Washington going to the practice squad, I think Olszewski would be snapped up faster because I think the league knows how important returners are. And, if you have Montreal Washington on the practice squad, if there's an injury, we could call them up or maybe even keep 7 receivers. But I just think it's going to be a long season, and punt returner is like the most dangerous position there is probably. And so to get through the whole long season, both returning punts and returning kicks, I'd like to see those 2 guys and, Turbo as the 3 main receivers. So anyway, that's my point. Thank you.
Returner. I think you meant returners.
Oh.
Appreciate the call, Jeff. Yeah, look, you're not keeping then Turbo on top of that.
No, it's going to be too hard.
Now,
and
if you
he
wanna...
said 7 receivers. There's no way that's happening.
No, I mean, I don't remember the last time the Giants even kept 6, to be honest with you.
6 is a lot, but 7's impossible.
No. You could make the argument for Gunner over Amir Smith-Marset. You could make that argument.
You could. I don't know that right now I would do it.
No, I'm not saying
Smith-Marset guy right now.
I'm not saying I would go there either, but I'm saying you can form an argument that's plausible if you want to try to make that case.
You could, and there are still a few weeks to go before the decision has to be made, and maybe Gunner wrestles it away.
All right, I'm going to go out to Steven in Vegas. He's up next year on Big Blue Kickoff Live. Steven, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Love the show. How's it going?
We're great, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I just want to talk to you guys about the quarterback room. I know we got Jackson Dart. We have Jameis Winston. Obviously, Russell Wilson's the starter. Now, I seen in the preseason game against the Bills that Jackson Dart started after Russell Wilson. My 2 questions. One is Jackson. I know it's the official roster is not out, but is Jackson Dart? Do you guys see him as the backup to Russell Wilson? My second question is, do you think that Jackson's going to start any time during the season? Obviously, we want to have a successful year, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Steven, both are good questions. On the unofficial depth chart that gets sent out, Jameis Winston was number 2. It's been widely reported over the course of camp. Jackson Dart has been with the 2s more than any other quarterback. So it's a tough thing to figure. Are they putting him with the 2s just so he gets a higher quality of work so his developmental curve goes faster? Or I guess the question is ultimately this, Steven, and I'm asking Paul this as much as I am you. If quarter 2 of the first game, me knocking on wood, Russell Wilson rolls an ankle and he can't finish the game, who comes in?
Jameis Winston.
I think if it's week 1, it's also Jameis Winston. That would be my bet, Steven. My feeling is that they really want to try to play it slow with Jackson Dart here. They do not want to force him in there before he's ready, and they want to take their time. I think that's why they brought Jameis Winston in, and that's why he's here. Now, I'm not 100% on that. I could be wrong. I don't know how strongly Paul feels about it, but that would be my instinct right now.
Well, Steven, I would present it to you this way. Once the season starts, bless you, John, if they wind up going into opening day with Wilson, Winston, and Dart as the 3 quarterbacks on their 53, Jackson Dart is going to see very, very few reps at practice as the season progresses. Now, maybe later on, late in the season, maybe he gets some more depending upon his development. But as we sit here today, you have to believe Wilson's getting most of the snaps. Winston's getting basically almost all the rest of them, and Dart doesn't get very many.
I mean, usually the backup, unless he's doing scout team stuff, is not going to get anything.
That's it.
And I imagine, do you think they'll give Dart the scout team reps?
I don't think so.
You think Winston will get those?
I think he will.
Interesting.
Because right now Winston's the number 2. You got to keep him ready.
Right.
And so if you're going to do that, then it makes all the sense in the world to give Dart as many number 2 reps now as you possibly can and get him in there in these games, because this is going to be the bulk of snaps that he may see going all the way into next spring. You know, he could virtually go into hibernation. It's not out of the question that he doesn't do hardly anything once the season starts.
That would be a successful season for the Giants if they don't put Jackson Dart in there, and that means we're winning games, and he's getting his his experience learning as a backup quarterback. But my other question, though, real quick, I know I'm short on time.
No, you're
fine. What are they going to do with Tommy DeVito? Because I know we have 4 quarterbacks, and the Giants developed DeVito, and he showed himself that he can plug and play. Is he going to be on the practice squad, or are they going to release him?
I think, and Steven, appreciate the call, man. Good stuff. Hope Las Vegas is treating you well. It's not too hot out there. I would imagine they'd love to get Dart on the practice. They'd love to get Tommy DeVito on the practice squad if they could.
Yeah.
And I think there's a shot at that. I don't think it's assured that he would get him on. I don't.
Wow. I feel very confident he'll get claimed. I mean, John,
it's hard, Paul, for...
You're going to go the system route and say to pick up another quarterback from another system is difficult to do.
Yeah, you don't see
I understand why you're doing that.
You don't, even every year, Paul, you go to the waiver claims. How often do you see a quarterback get claimed on waivers?
But my counter on that will be, as I look at the National Football League today, 32 teams, and I know not every team keeps 3 on the 53, but more and more are starting to.
Yeah.
I look at Tommy DeVito, and 3 times 32, again, we know not everybody keeps a third, but 3 times 32 is 96.
No, Tommy DeVito is easily one of the best 75 quarterbacks.
I don't think there's any doubt.
I totally agree with you.
And it's such an important position for another team to look at a guy like that and say, he's young, he's got a great attitude, he's got some mobility to him, he's got toughness to him. He doesn't usually turn the ball over. We've seen that. Even when he hasn't played great, he doesn't turn the ball over. That's the kind of stuff that another team's going to say, hey, you know what? He can easily be my 3. Now, maybe they wouldn't see him as a 2, but he's got to be one of the best 6 or 7 number 3s in this league. He's got to be.
And to a second question, I mean, I don't know if Jackson's going to play this year or when he's going to play. It all depends on how the season goes, how Russell Wilson is playing, and how Jackson Dart is developing behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Those are the 3 questions. We don't know the answer to those questions right
Nobody
now,
does.
So it's hard for us to make that type of prediction.
And I would add one other thing here. You know, if the Giants are looking ahead, now again, I've had people even ask me, "Do you think Jameis Winston's going to be on the team? What if somebody calls the Giants and says we'd like to make a deal for Winston?" I've had people ask me that question. All I can say is this.
And by the way,
What's that?
I don't think that's completely out of the question if they have that much faith in DeVito.
Well, that's the other part to this. If the Giants get enough of an offer for Winston, and let's just say hypothetically, it's a really nice offer and they part with him, well, now you're right. DeVito has to stay. He becomes the 2, in all honesty, at least early in the season. He'd have to be the 2.
I think that also shows that they're extremely, if a move like that ever happened, it shows that they're extremely confident in what Jackson has shown them.
Yeah, you would have to feel that way. You would have to. And so if you do that, right, and now you've got Wilson, DeVito, and Dart, think about this for just a second as well. Wilson's a free agent at the end of the season. DeVito will also be free at the end of the season. And Dart will be the only quarterback under contract. See, that was the one thing about when they signed Winston to be the backup. He got a 2-year deal.
Yep, exactly.
And keep that in the back of your mind, which is why the whole concept of if you get a call about him is very intriguing, because the reason they gave him a 2-year contract is because they were hoping he could be part of the hedge if Jackson Dart needed more time next year.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. The Giants Foundation will host a 5K racing kids run presented by Quest on Sunday, October 26th at 9 a.m. at MetLife Stadium. Net proceeds will benefit the Giants Foundation. All participants will receive a commemorative T-shirt. After the race, stay for a post-race festival with appearances by Giants legends and a live DJ. Register now at Giants.com/5K. The Giants Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. All right, let's go to Johnny Cape Cod next, Mr. Johnny Mac. John, what's going on?
How are you, John?
We're good. What's going on, John?
Paul?
Hi.
Hi. I haven't been on in a while. I just want to say I love you guys' show.
Thank you.
And this is the first time in a while that I think a lot of the optimism from this team is real, especially after listening to my guys, Phil Simms and Carl Banks. I just want to say something about Bellinger. I assume he's going to be on the roster. I think he's Mr. Consistent, and I really like his blocking, especially since one little fact you guys may be aware of. I'm here in Patriots country because of Parcells and Belichick. Every Super Bowl that the Giants have won in the new era, and every Patriots Super Bowl, those teams had a true fullback. Now, I understand it's a different game today, but I think Bellinger can fill that role.
No, John, look, I think both of us would be very surprised if Bellinger's not on the final 53.
Yeah. And Bellinger can be a spot fullback. You don't want him there full time. He's a tight end is what he is.
And then there might be another guy that makes the roster you could use in certain fullback situations, too.
I know who you're talking about. Mr. Chapman.
Yes.
He's as strong as an ox, that guy.
Yeah, John, I would not be surprised if some goal line situations you saw Elijah Chapman slide in there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
Well.
He wants to do it. But anyway, go ahead.
I'll just leave you with two things and make room for other people. Number one, I think that they need to review how Hall of Fame voting is done these days. I think there are enough guys in the Hall of Fame that they could have Hall of Famers voting on players, especially players that are off television for a number of years. I think it's a travesty that Otis Anderson and Phil Simms are not in the Hall of Fame. And the final thing I want to leave you with is the injury situation, and I'd like your comments on this. I remember back, I guess it was the end of his first year, Bill Parcells had a team that was in top 3 or 4 most injured. And he went out and hired Johnny Parker, a new strength coach with modern techniques. And the next year, they were in the top 5 least injured teams. I look at the teams today, and I'm wondering if maybe some of the exercise regimen has changed for the negative, and maybe they're over-conditioned. I'll leave you guys with that question. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, John. I could tell you that there's never been more thought and science put into getting these guys ready to play and staying them healthy than there ever has been. Ever. They just put a lot of money into it. They put a lot of work into it. Aaron Wellman now runs the Giants in that regard in terms of getting, putting the overall program together to keeping these guys on the field. When he's been here, remember he was here before, left, came back. Soft tissue injuries have generally went down when he's been here. Now, last year, the Giants actually were one of the healthier teams last year. If you look at the number of games lost, unfortunately, the guys that lost games just were the guys you did not want to lose games.
Bad spots.
Correct. But in terms of total number of games lost, it actually was not the Giants were not in a bad spot last year.
No.
And by the way, like a guy popping his foot, his Lisfranc.
Yeah,
that's not a strength and conditioning thing.
It's not. No, it's not. To your other question, Dan Fouts and James Lofton are the only 2 Pro Football Hall of Fame players who are on the Hall of Fame voting committee. So to your point, I happen to agree with you.
I disagree.
You don't want to see more players on the
I don't think they're going to put the work in. Paul, I've seen players are like Pro Bowlers.
Oh, I know, and boy, it's like picking cereal off the supermarket shelf. They give no thought to it whatsoever. I know what you mean.
And I
think you
know
have to vet if you vet the guys though.
I know how much work and effort everyone on that Hall of Fame committee put into that list and how seriously they take it. And they do their level best to put in the people that deserve to go in. Is it perfect? No. It's never going to be perfect, no matter who you have on the committee. But I know that they really, really put a lot of effort in to get those names right.
Glauber and Myers are two guys both of us know very well, and they got a lot of dedication to their service on that front. And I agree with you on that particular issue. But that doesn't mean there could not be another handful, half a dozen or so Hall of Famers that they could vet and find out if they would really want to do this because they're prideful about the club that they're in.
I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that. I also do think players have the tendency to be biased about the guys that they were around.
But you know what? So are the media people who are on that committee too.
That is also true. I have no argument there.
You know? So anyway, I think those are the 2 points that he raised. So.
Yep. Run a Walk with Giants Legends. The Giants Foundation will host a 5K racing kids run presented by Quest on Sunday, October 26th at 9 a.m. at MetLife Stadium. Net proceeds will benefit the Giants Foundation. All participants will receive a commemorative T-shirt after the race. Stay for a post-race festival with appearances by Giants Legends and a live DJ. Register now at Giants.com/5K. The Giants Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. And guys, go check out the Giants Huddle podcast. A lot of good stuff came your way last week on that channel. Go check it out. Good stuff coming your way this week as well. It's on the Giants app, Giants.com/podcast. Just search for it on your favorite podcast channel or go to our platform or go to the Giants YouTube page where we're also streaming live right now as well. Let's go to Coach Marvin in Delaware. Coach, what's going on, pal?
John, Paul, how y'all doing?
Hi, Coach.
Good. Yeah. Before I just get into this, I just want to just say, I know I don't say it that much. You guys are outstanding. I call because of you guys. You guys, your explanation and explaining things to people is just outstanding work. And hopefully the Giants recognize that.
Thank you, Coach.
I just want to throw that out there.
That's kind of you.
Yeah. And I heard when y'all was talking about Banks, and I was agreeing with you yesterday, Paul, on some of it. But the thing that I want is I want the best out of my players.
Sure you do.
And he's running with them. And I would tell my guys, like, hey, you're doing a great job, but I got to have the butt in there. You got to turn your head around. My question is the coaches explaining that to them? I believe they are.
Coach, I promise you they are. That was literally
right.
like mission number one for the new secondary coaches this year was to improve his technique at the catch point.
Yep. And I agree with that. I just had to throw it out there because that was what I was going to say. Either they're telling him and he's not doing it, or they're not telling him and he's not doing it. Both of those are not good. And if they're trying to explain that to him, he's got to take that, especially in practice. I've seen it. One of y'all, you had it online, John. It was a catch by Neighbors on him. And he just jumped in the Neighbors' chest, but Neighbors made the catch for a touchdown. This was early in the practices, and it was just why he can't turn his head around. And I still believe that the better corners you would notice are corners that have some experience at receiver. If you look at Dion, you look at Woodson. These guys, they have Diggs in Dallas. These guys have backgrounds in playing receivers, so they always have this clock in their head of when the ball is supposed to be thrown. I don't know if he has any experience at playing receiver, any experience at running routes, because it's all timing. And if you can get the timing of that route as he's running it, and you understand what he's running, you can also time the throw when he's going to receive it.
Yeah, Coach, what I would say, a lot of that is instinctual and kind of having a feel for it. And also just making an instantaneous decision by reading the eyes or the hands of the receiver that you're covering.
Exactly.
So those are the two things that go into it. And the other part of it is that, look, there are two ways to play this. And this is how most coaches teach it. I think this is how the Giants teach it. Where if you're in phase with the receiver, and I know you know what this means, I'm explaining it for the listeners, Coach. Basically, if you're running where you're supposed to, if you're even with the receiver, you're supposed to, once you think the ball's in the air, and again, you usually get a clue by how the receiver's eyes look or at his hands look like, look back and try to knock the ball down. If you're out of phase, which means the receiver maybe has a step on you, or a half a step on you, or you're out of position for whatever reason, then they don't want you to turn around and locate the ball because that's going to slow you down and you're not going to be able to make a play. At that point, They want you to play the hands, wait for the ball to come in, play the ball on the hands to try to knock it loose late. So that's also an instinctual thing, Coach, to understanding when you're in phase, when you're not, when the ball's in the air, when to start playing the hands, when to get your head around. Like, it sounds, I know you know this, but it sounds easy, but there are a lot of factors that are going on in a, 2.5 second period of time while the ball's traveling in the air. It's not an easy thing to do.
You see, I think the thing that's frustrating about Banks for people like Coach Marvin and the people who truly understand the toolbox that he has to offer is that because he does not possess instinctive ball skills at the point of the target, he's giving up potentially an opportunity to grab 5 or 6 interceptions a season.
Or at least pass breakups.
Yeah.
Which often can turn into defensive pass interference penalties if you're not getting your head around.
And those extra plays that he's not making, well, that makes him just a sticky corner instead of an elite corner. And that's the problem. And that's what you want, Coach. You want him to take it to that next level.
God darn it. You guys, why am I calling? Because you guys got it on the button. Paul, that is exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. And John, that's exactly what we teach. Exactly that. If it's an emergency, you don't turn your head around because you're beat. He's going to get that catch, and he's going to take it to the house if you look back. So you just run until you catch up to him. His hands goes up, your hands go in between them.
Now, Coach, there is one thing, and I think you'll appreciate this too. At Maryland, they didn't teach him that stuff. He got into bad habits there.
Yeah.
It was one of the reasons
Well,
why.
in fairness, maybe they were teaching him that and he just wasn't listening.
Well, you know what?
No, I think I agree with Paul. I mean, with Paul, because I believe college is teaching that. Because it's all throughout the college game.
If I remember, I interviewed his DB's backs coach in Maryland. I'm pretty sure that's how they told me they taught him that there.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to go back and find it on the John Settle podcast, but I did interview his DB's coach there.
If you look at all the tape, it certainly doesn't look like it. So maybe he wasn't receptive.
That as well.
I can't answer that.
I mean, to your point, you know, Donnie Henderson was teaching him that when he was here.
Oh, I know.
Jerome
Henderson.
Jerome Henderson.
But before I go, I have just one statement.
Yeah.
Paul got a call from someone about the offensive lineman throwing his hand out. Paul, I believe that because they have a silent count and the guard looks back when it's time for that silent count, he throws his hands out so the center knows that count is ready to go.
That's correct.
And then they snap the ball on the silent count.
We mentioned that was
guard is doing.
We mentioned that we thought it was a communication issue, and that's what you're telling me.
No.
Yeah.
It's just to get that snap, that silent count going, because there's no count because of the crowd.
Right.
So the guard is the one that triggers it. He looks back at the quarterback, knows when that count ready. Sometimes they tap the center or they throw their hands out in front of the center, so they know that count is ready to go, and they snap the ball. It doesn't have anything about pointing out. And you had it right. They're not telling them who's the mic or anything like that.
No,
they're not doing
that's
that.
never the case.
So you guys take care.
Thank you, Coach.
I love the show. You guys
Thank you, Coach.
there.
Appreciate it, man. You're awesome. Thanks for the call. Good stuff. Look, there's some in-depth stuff on DB play that, you know. But you know what? And Paul, and Robin Kennedy, we will get to you shortly. The frustrating part of this for me right now is that heading into camp, who are some of the players that we listed that had the most to gain by playing really well in camp this year?
Well,
Evan Neal. Where's he
not playing.
Right? Jalen Hyatt.
Not playing.
Cordell Flott.
Not playing. I know.
It's frustrating.
I know.
And those are 3 guys that have had injury issues crop up over the course of their careers.
And what really gets you, all right, I mean, it just turns your stomach inside out.
It's not their fault. I mean, they're trying. It's frustrating.
Is that you saw what you thought was off-season progress.
Correct.
All right, it didn't look like they were washouts. It looked like they were progressing. The arrow was pointing up. And then all of a sudden, somebody hit the brakes. Well, that's it. We can't see anymore right now. We got to put him down. That stinks.
And this is your chance. These are if you're going to grab a bigger role, you have to do it in the preseason games.
Yeah.
That's your shot.
One 1,000%.
And they're missing their opportunities, which stinks. All right, let's go to Rob in Connecticut. And no, Brian Dable did not shed any information on any of those injuries over the course of practice today. They're all rehabbing. They're working on it, and hopefully they'll be back soon.
Did you want to just go over the list of the guys who didn't practice today?
After Rob. I already have Rob up.
Go
Rob,
ahead.
what's going on? No, that's okay. Robbie, what's up?
Hey, P. Lance, how are you today?
Or John and P. How are you, Rob?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
My bad. So anyway, well, up here, I'll tell you what, it feels like it's 110 degrees and I'm in the shade. It's no joke. So southeastern Connecticut has been sweltering every day this summer. It's insane. Anyway, okay, so here's why Tommy DeVito is not going to get picked up. Because I think he's aged out of curiosity from other teams. He's been in the league too long, and if they want a younger quarterback, they'll probably get somebody who they've scouted more recently. Why would any team want to get Tommy? You know, that's just saying. I think
I'll tell you why.
I think his.
I'll tell you why. And I'm not trying to be a wise guy.
You can scream one more
But
time.
a scout from another team said to me already during this offseason, boy, Tommy DeVito is going to wind up on somebody's team this fall, and he said, I'm going to say it right now, because he's proven that he can win games in this league. He won that Green Bay game with a last-minute drive. He's won 3 games total, in his short time and experience, and he goes, you know how many guys, young players who are career backups, who have had a chance to win a game and did not win games? Tommy DeVito showed, and again, I don't believe in one-loss record for quarterbacks. Let me make that very clear. I'm not contradicting myself. What I am saying is Tommy DeVito showed that he can make plays that can help a team win. Winning plays within the context of a football game. That's not in doubt. He's done it.
Right.
And that's why the scout said to me, oh, he's going to be on a team this year.
Yeah, and however, I would say that's me having wishful thinking. Look, I saw him on Saturday. He carved up the D. No matter what you want to say, third string or whatever, he knows Brian Dable's playbook probably better than most other people in that quarterback room at this point in time, with the exception of, the coaching. And I hope he doesn't get picked up by another team. You know what I mean? So that's me having wishful thinking. So I agree with you right there, my friend. Oh, another thing. I don't believe the big thing this summer has been listening to all these, pundits, whether it's the ex-professional athlete or the retired athlete, because, they're always an athlete. You can't say ex-athlete because they'll get punched in the face, right? Because they're still athletes, they just retired. So you have all these retired color commentators, the game analysts, and on the whole pundit class. But the thing that is annoying me, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, how can you can't analyze any talent on the Giants offensively, because what we've had at quarterback for the last 6 years. So saying that their schedule is so imposing, yes, fair. I don't think you can say really how imposing it is, because we can't accurately say for any shadow of doubt how good the people we have on our team is, because of we've been hindered, we've been shackled. It's like our offense has been the chain gang, because it's like our offense is the socialism of the NFL. You've been shackled. You know what I mean? And they've been released now.
My man, I would say this. Is gone. I would say this.
Appreciate the call, Rob. Thank you.
The number one reason why it's been so hard to gauge what the Giants truly have on offense is because the offensive line, for the most part, over the past decade, has really been a broken machine. That's simple. When the O-line is broken down and when it's not functioning correctly, it's really hard for you to determine what anybody on offense is capable of doing, because it starts with the line every single time.
Yeah, and obviously at times the quarterback situation has
no question.
I mean,
but the line is overwhelming.
Even pushing Daniel Jones aside, he's missed a ton of games where you had to have rookie undrafted free agent Tommy DeVito. We've had to have, Fromm. We've had to have Glennon. Drew Lock, guys like that. I mean,
even.
So yeah, I mean, that's true. It doesn't make the schedule any less difficult, though. The schedule, I don't care who your quarterback is. The schedule's hard. The schedule's hard. That's just the way it goes. But they'll have to overcome it. All right, Liam in Utah will wrap us up today. Liam, what's going on? And then I'll go through some of your YouTube comments. Liam, what's up?
I just have 2 questions.
Sure, Liam. What do you got?
First one, do you think the O-line's going to be better this year or worse?
Look, Liam, I think for your first question, if you look at how the offensive line played in the first 5.5 games last year until Andrew Thomas got hurt, I think you saw a better level of offensive line play. I hope it would be similar to that, if not a little bit better, because the group is together for another year under the same coach in Carmen Brasillo. So I believe, again, assuming Andrew Thomas is healthy, that the belief is that the offensive line will play better this year. What's your second question?
About the wide receiver room, do you think, because we got some new guys and stuff, do you think it's going to be good or bad this year for the wide receiver room?
Liam, thanks for calling, man. Really appreciate it, dude. All the way from Utah. Good to hear from you, Liam.
Wow.
Good questions.
That's not a state we hear from often.
Excellent. Very good stuff.
I mean, look.
If Malik Neighbors is healthy, the wide receiver room is going to be good. I mean, that's pretty much what we're looking at, right? I mean, let's be honest.
Well, we know what Neighbors is, we know what Wandale Robinson is, and we know what Darius Slayton is. What we don't know what is Jalen Hyatt.
That's
the guy we don't know.
Basically the same receiver room as last year.
Yeah. And if Hyatt breaks out, all of a sudden the receiver room is really good.
And again, if Russell Wilson can take more of those shots one-on-one downfield in those one-on-one cover situations, you hope to get some more explosive plays out of a group that does have a lot of speed and ability to make some big plays. Okay.
Can we give the list?
Yeah, real quick. Go ahead.
All right, guys who did not practice against the Jets today: Hyatt, Belton, Neighbors, Scattaboo, Hawkins, Phillips, and Neal.
No, it's Felton, not Belton. It was Daquan Felton.
Oh.
Dane Belton, remember you had that play on the sideline?
He did.
Yeah, it was Daquan Felton, not Dane Belton. Sorry.
You know what it was? It was a typo, and I screwed up.
Well, I thought you was Dable didn't say it very loudly. I thought maybe you misheard him. Felton and Belton does rhyme.
It was loud at Jets camp today.
And it's also both first names start with a D.
And
Dane
you're right.
And
Dane Belton did make a play. I remember the play now.
Yeah, so it was Daquan Felton. And Bo Collins was back, by the way.
I did see Bo Collins. Yes, he did make a catch, by the way.
He did. Okay, very quickly, let's go rapid fire these YouTube comments. All right,
yes.
Paul, you ready?
Yes.
Why was Gunnar playing outside instead of the slot? They're trying to move the receivers all around this year. They're moving guys into every spot. You saw Wanda Robinson playing outside in that game, too. And that, Paul, is why I think we saw Gunnar outside. Agreed?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Do you think the Giants should trade Kayvon while he still has good value? No, they want as many really good pass rushers as they possibly can.
Without a doubt.
So, no. Rajon Jones, how the old offensive linemen do, who stands out. Any particular people on the offensive line, Paul, really stood out to you today in the one-on-ones?
I thought Bo did a really good job. I thought Azudu had a rough rep and then came back and had a couple of really good ones. Runyon fought like he always does. He scraps. Those were the guys who immediately stuck out to me. Kubas had another couple of reps that were really pretty rough, too.
And I'll just say, I think that Illuminor has probably been the most consistent offensive lineman so far this summer.
That goes without saying.
Phenomenal.
I don't even think about him anymore because he's so steady.
I just want to throw the man his flowers. He's
Absolutely.
done a really nice job. Kenny, could Hyatt miss out missing time? We know he can burn it up, but how are his other routes? With others showing more talent, could he miss out? Look, every snap, Jalen Hyatt does not take in a preseason game or in practice. He misses a chance to... Look, Jalen Hyatt right now, Paul, to your point, they know what they get from Slayton, Robinson, and Neighbors. He needs to be so good that it's worth taking those guys off the field.
Yeah.
Because you could just play 3 wide receivers and be fine.
We've talked about this.
You could do that.
And oh, by the way, if they want to go 4 wide, they could use a stand-up tight end. They could put Theo Johnson out wide. They could put Theo in the big slot, and they could easily say, you know what? We don't have a 4th receiver worth it. We're just going to put Johnson out there.
So yeah,
they could do that.
Look, he needs to get out there, and he knows that he wants to be out there, and they'll get him out there as quickly as they can. JBX, I'm looking forward to a good season. Dart had a touchdown. I'm looking forward to seeing AC, Abdul Carter, I'm assuming, get a sack or 2. We're with you. Abdul Carter will get plenty of sacks this year. Don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Eric Hall. Paulie did a great job with the play-by-play Saturday. I'd love to hear more of him.
Well, NEC football is coming your way in just a couple of months.
What's your dad's first name?
No, that's not. Trust me, Dad's not on YouTube. I can guarantee you that right now. Dad and I, I'm a chip off the old block. Dad is not on the internet doing that stuff.
So he streams us on the app. He doesn't stream us on YouTube.
Oh, he goes to Giants.com.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
That's easy enough to remember without having to go anywhere else. But anyway,
Your dad is fairly technologically savvy. That's why I thought he could be
actually,
on YouTube.
you know what? Well, he does air check all my stuff and edits my stuff and does all my.
Well, I know. That's why I thought he might be on YouTube.
He's actually really good at that stuff, but it's all production more so than
internet
stuff.
I got you.
But Northeast Conference football, me and Kevin Gilbride.
How many games you got this year?
3. That's it. Only 3. But anyway, thank you. Very kind of you. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I enjoyed listening to you as well. You and Sean.
Thank you.
Had a lot of fun. It was a good time.
34 points.
These preseason games are tough, folks. You gotta there's a lot of numbers that you gotta
remember.
It's
a lot of numbers.
I've done a limited amount of play-by-play. It's all been college stuff, which is even worse than NFL preseason. There's even more numbers in those college guys, and they rotate guys in and out. It's a nightmare.
And in college, no names on the backside of the jerseys.
Correct.
Usually
It makes it a lot harder. That is
correct.
You know.
But I will tell you, the booth was like 90-something degrees. Sean and I,
it was hot up there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Windows were open.
You guys poloing it, or did you suit it?
We poloed.
Okay, good.
Windows were open. And
Sean must have been like sweating through
90-something degrees.
Ugh.
And as it was getting like about 8-9 minutes left in the game, we felt like wilted flowers. I mean, we were just like totally melting.
You know how to handle the heat usually, Paul. Come on, man.
Boy, it was hot.
Really?
There was no circulation.
Were you guys in the sun?
We were not in the sun, but there was no circulation.
That was the air conditioner on in the booth?
Not that I felt.
You got to talk to Hoffman. He would have get some AC.
Maybe behind us with those guys, but not up.
Had him find like one
us.
of those big fans like that in Egypt. He could have done one of those.
We had enough trouble getting a monitor to work.
Well, look, there's a reason they're building a new stadium.
That is very true. But the Buffalo people were very nice.
No, they're great
up there. Took
there.
care of us the best
They're
as
fantastic.
we could. And you know what? Thank you again. It was bottom line was 34 points, as John said earlier, was a tremendous output. It was a fun game. 4 lead changes in the latter stages of that game. It was as fun a preseason game, John, as you're ever going to find.
Everybody, thanks for being with us on Big Blue Kickoff Live today. Great job, Johnny Mac, running the show. Thank you for the calls. Do you know who you're with you tomorrow, offhand, on the show? It's not me.
I do not know.
Probably SciTech.
Either Matt or I don't know his name.
Oh, no, Madeline's here tomorrow, so it's probably you and Matt's.
Okay.
It's probably Paul Dottino, Madeline Burke tomorrow on Big Blue Kickoff Live, so tune into that. We're still at 2 o'clock. We do not have the practice schedule next week. So
no, we don't.
2 o'clock as we move forward here, at least for the rest of this week. Preseason game coming your way on Saturday. For Paul Dottino, I'm John Schmeelk. That's Big Blue Kickoff Live, presented by Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the Giants. Coming to you proudly from our podcast studio, presented by Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. We'll see you next time.